introduced by how they have answered the question. So for your 2 minutes, how do I identify with Baguio? So basically po, their pictures and their curriculum they will be, or their resume or profile information will be projected on screen. And they are given opening statements for 2 minutes. And they will be timed in a digital timer. Yan po yung digital timer natin. Will appear on the screen. Mic volume will be turned down if they go beyond the set time limit. And Sir Alju?
Okay, yes, kanilang opening statement ay 2 minutes. But then later on, when we proceed to the other questions, they are only given kasamang naikan ng tigo 1 minute.
Yes.
10 seconds before 1 minute will lapse, they will be hearing a bell. May we have a sample of the bell?
Sample.
Okay, mukhang inandok.
Kanina umaga pa kasi yung bell. Can you hear the bell?
Ayan. Sige, paki-on lang yung mic pick up na mic po yan. And right away, yan yung pag narinig po yung bell na yun, that means you have barely 10 seconds before your time is up. And after which, you will be given common questions. You will be asked common questions first. Okay? Yung katanungan na yun ay sasagutin po ninyo, and we follow the alphabetical arrangement of your family name. Pero caution lang po because we start with A. Later on, baliktaran naman po, we start with Z up to A. Ganun po yung gagawin natin. And should it be, depende po sa inyong pagsagot, there might be some follow-up questions that we will be asking. And you are given 30 seconds to answer our follow-up questions.
And kayo po, candidates are to respond to the following issues: community participation, governance and legislation, implementation particularly, well-being and mobility.
Kasama na rin po dyan ang land use and zoning, ang usapin ng peace and autonomy and coordinera.
We also have heritage, local business and tourism.
Yan ang ating problema sa waste management, air and noise pollution.
And of course, our issue on peace and water concerns.
Ayan. And paalala naman po sa ating lahat dito sa hall, ano po, while it's so agitating siguro to cheer or to clap, may we request, actually, sa rule na bawal po ang mag-boo, bawal po ang sumigaw, bawal po muna ang mag-cheer at malakpak. I-receive natin yan after all the candidates have delivered their answers to their respective questions.
Exactly. Bawal din po yung may banner. So kung meron po tayong banner for a particular party or candidate, ibaba po muna natin. And pwede po natin gamitin uli yan next time.
Ayan, siguro kung gusto niyo pong i-distribute yan, probably after, no? After the forum or dito sa ating event pagtapos ng po ito.
Again, cell phones should be on silent mode so as not to distract the audience as well as our candidates here in front.
And we just got this reminder na sa ating po lahat, while we are enjoying listening to our candidates, please be mindful of your valuables. Pakibantayan po ang ating mga belongings para po hindi po ma-misplace. So yan muna sa atin para sa ating lahat. Thank you so much. And we proceed with our question series. And this time, kasama Nathan, bago natin
we are now the functions of the mayor.
The mayor is tasked with the general supervision and control of the city government, represents the whole city, and would sign contracts on its behalf upon the authorization of the city council. He is in charge of enforcing laws and ordinances, implements approved policies, projects, programs, and activities of the city, as well as to assure that the basic services and facilities the city needs would be delivered. He is assigned to formulate the executive and legislative agenda, prepare plans and budgets, and carry out emergency measures in times of disasters and other calamities. Visits barangays of the city at least once every 6 months to deepen the understanding of the concerns of the constituents.
Okay? Right. Nakita na natin yung role yung mayor, Sir Aljun.
So mas mabigat din, no? Para na
Dami.
Okay, so we proceed now to the opening statements. As pointed early on by Nathan, pakidalag po natin part of your introduction also so that our listeners and our constituents would come to know a little more of you. Okay, so to give their 2-minute opening statement, we begin with Sir Edilberto Carvan.
How to identify with Baguio? Baguio is my home. I was born here, I was raised here, and I was educated here, and I worked here. I've been a barangay captain, I've been a city councilor, and a judge of the regional trial court. In all the associations that I have been associated with, I have been president. From the JCs, JC Senate, the Rotary, the YMCA of the Philippines, of which I reached the World Alliance of YMCAs. I have been helping the city, the people of Baguio, especially the youth. How I identify with Baguio? Baguio is my home. Thank you.
Alright, Sir Edilberto Carvan.
Okay, let's have Sir Mauricio Tomoka.
Your servant, you have tasted it, you have seen it, and I will continue to serve you, our beloved constituents, with our good governance and development, to continue to address a lot of the problems of our city, Baguio. I was a practitioner for 18 years before I entered public service in 1988 as a councilor, your janitor, and your servant from 1992 to 2001, when the rehabilitation of the city was at its height from the ruins of the killer earthquake, and the city had a budget then at the time of only 146 million pesos. When I left, we elevated it to 630 million pesos, and now it's 1.6 total billion pesos. And the competency of the city during our works, we are number 13 among all the cities inside the Philippines as assessed by the national government. We have been garnering a lot of awards. So, your servant, he tasted servant at that, and he will continue to serve you with honesty and integrity. Finish all the work that entered his office during the day, even if it will mean have to work up to 9 o'clock in the evening or even more. Here, I am Maurice Tumugan, your servant in your city of Baguio.
Thank you so much, Mayor Mauricio Tomoka.
Alright, let's also listen to Sir Guillermo Hernandez. Sir.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo. Ako si Engineer Willie Hernandez, taga Baguio. I was born in Baguio, 1949. My birthday will be March 22. I'll be 67 years old now. So I hope that I know the problem in Baguio, especially on traffic, waste management, water, and discipline. Ang pinaka-importante nito, disiplina. Pag walang disiplina, kahit anong magandang plataforma, pag walang disiplina, walang mangyayari. Discipline must be first. Second, your attitude, and we should respect each other. We in Baguio City, once we respect each other, it's very effective with good, clean, honest government under my administration. Thank you very much. If I become the mayor of Baguio.
Maraming salamat, Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
And we have Sir Jose Molitas.
Good afternoon, Joe Molitas. I was born and raised in Baguio City, from a public school at Lukban, and St. Louis Lukban, or Don Bosco, and St. Louis University, where I finished BS Biology and Law. Even if I'm the youngest in the list of candidates I think I also have the care and love for the city and prepared myself to lead the people of Baguio. My group, with Mark Go and Edison Bilog, we represent Go Team Baguio. And we represent the genuine opposition. If it's Baguio We Want, it's Baguio We Want. If it's Baguio they have created that we do not want, it's what we are going to change. We are going to change the landscape of Baguio City from a squatter city into a city where everybody has a decent place to stay. I think that is the most important problem that is creating the other issues in Baguio City. Our government has not planned for anything for Baguio City for the past 3 decades. No housing for the people, so everybody are on their way. I think we need to address that. We need to give them the titles they need so that they can develop their houses to a certain standard so that they will not be demolished. I practice law handling cases for demolition and my heart bleeds when I fail to get a restraining order. That is my background. I was always been for the poor and the oppressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Jose Colinas.
Alright, so goes the 2-minute opening statement, and this time let's proceed to the answering of the common questions.
Okay. This will be answered by the 4 people. Question number 4. Is there a need for Baguio barangays to undergo merging or restructuring? Let's start with Sir Clara.
First barangay captains in the city of Baguio when I was 23 years old. And when they divided the city in 129 barangays, the structure of the barangays then was not as well observed as it is now. As you see, like in Irisan, that is a very big barangay because there were just a few barangay houses there at that time. And now there are several houses there and we have to really divide that barangay. There are also, however, small barangays that have to be merged. And therefore, we need really an honest to goodness restructuring in order that the vision and mission of each barangays will be properly implemented. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Clara.
Let us also listen to Sir Mauricio Dumogan. Sir?
Yes, there is a need to merge the different barangays. The only problem here is we need the consent of the barangay officials. And we have already a plan for that, which hopefully the barangay officials will agree because this is going to undergo the process, and after which we come out with an ordinance so that it will be implemented pursuant to provisions of the Republic Act 7160, and order that the salaries and benefits of the barangay officials can be increased to not less than 15,000 per barangay captain aside from allowances, and the barangay kagawas to at least 12 to 13,000 pesos. And this can only be done if we merge the barangays so that we focus the development for their own respective areas.
Thank you very much, Sir Mauricio Dumogan.
And let's have Sir Willie Hernandez.
I think we should merge some of the barangays, small barangays. Because once we have a bigger barangay, we should subdivide it. But the smaller one, we should merge it so that we can give more compensation with the barangay kapitan, even the kagawan. And then we will make them more effective rather than dividing them into smaller and smaller and smaller, which the executive cannot handle anymore because of them. So that we can visit the barangay even once a week, once a month or 2 months, once in 2 months. I'll be in contact with the barangay through technology. Kahit araw-araw makikita ko sila. Kahit anong ginagawa nila, nakikita ko through technology. Because I'm a mechanical engineer. So we need technology to improve the city of Baguio. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Willie Hernandez.
Let us now listen to Sir Jose Bolitas. Sir.
Of course, we agree to improvement. We have a barangay at Irisan, which is 11,400, and yet we have other barangays of less than 1,000. So, how they perform, one is too big, the other is too little. We understand that it is a result of what we call gerrymandering during the early times of the old politicians. They keep on creating to have more control over the people. But that is no longer the situation. We should encourage the barangay officials to agree, and once they all agree, we can come up with arrangements and ordinances that will put them together. Because to aspire for each and everyone to be restructured at one time is quite ambitious. It has been a proposal for so many years and nothing has done about it. So we need to let them be the ones to decide on their own. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Jose Bolitas. And on the screen it says, how would you ensure the efficient implementation of programs and policies concerning the residents' welfare and city development? We start with Sir Edilberto Clarman.
The political will. If the government, from the barangay to the city government, can have that political will, we can give the necessary help to these different people in the barangays. So there must be an efficient way by which these barangays will be able to implement their ordinances and resolutions by engaging these people to help them out. Because now, the barangay people do not care. Some of them, they don't even go and vote. If you see what is happening now, the residents don't go and vote, they just wait for whoever will be the barangay captain or barangay officials. There must be an efficient engagement between the residents and the barangay officials. Thank you.
Alright, thank you very much, Sir Edilberto Clarman.
Let's have Sir Mauricio Dumore.
We'll continue our good governance and development, participatory governance, and we'll continue to implement, of course, the policies and programs of the city of Baguio. You have seen me do that for a number of years. One, in the case of revenue, we have increased our revenue to what we are today. When we started it in 1992, from 146 million to 1.622 billion pesos now budget. In terms of competency, you have seen also the standing of the city. We are number 13 among all the cities all over the Philippines. Well, in terms of environment, the city has garnered a lot of awards during our watch, which implemented the policies and programs of the city. Well, when it comes to air pollution, we are also implementing the same and including water quality. So we will continue to do that for our people of Baguio. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat, Sir Mauricio Dumore.
Let's listen to Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Well, the implementation of the program and policies, I think we should have more information to all the barangays. By number one, let's say the barangay in the state, ilabas nila mga programa ng barangay. Isa pa, ang pinaka-importante is disiplina. Sundin natin ang mga barangay ordinansa. Kung hindi natin susundin niya kahit anong magandang programa, dapat nila malaman nila ang itong ordinansa ito sa barangay dapat masunod. Through the help of the city, to the help of the mayor, we will now have a communication with the barangay. Parating natin bisitahin ang mga barangay dahil nandun ang mga maliit na mga problema. Huwag na natin dalhin ang mga barangay kapitan doon sa City Hall na hindi natin maiskaso. Tayo pupunta ngayon sa mga barangay. I can visit them. Maybe in 3 years, I can visit them once or 2 months. Once a month or 2 months in 1 month.
Alright, thank you very much, Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Sir Jose Bolitas.
Well, we ask ourselves, why do projects fail? They fail because it's not planned. They are not planned, the people do not know, and they come as a surprise. And we cannot call that participatory governance. We need to let the people be the one to come up with their program because it's for their welfare. Here is not the officials' welfare. So it must be the residents planning, proposing, participating, and once it is funded, they are the ones to implement it. In that way, there's no corruption. In that way, there is satisfaction. That is how we intend to govern the city of Baguio. People coming up with a proposal, defending it, owning it, and if it fails, at least we all did our part together. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Sir Malitas. And we'll have our problem po ng Baguio City. Siguro
And sa Mamingtan, medyo balik tayo naman natin. Okay. How will you address the traffic problem of Baguio City? To start answering that, let us listen to Sir Jose Molina.
To solve the traffic problem. According to St. Francis of Assisi, what we do the necessary, we do the possible, and suddenly the impossible will happen. I think the traffic problem has a root cause, and that is because we are overcrowded. No amount of regulating the number of vehicles will stop the traffic problem. The solution is there in the BRIS program. We need to let people disperse and let lesser vehicles and population in Baguio City. We were planned for 25,000 and we are now 300,000. Of course, we have other tourists coming in. So what do we really do is to expand our territory, move people out of Baguio City. Thank you. I will explain that later in other questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Jose Molintas.
Let's have Sir Willie Hernandez.
Well, regarding the traffic situation in Baguio, we should have a system that will decrease the volume of vehicles going around the city area. Well, I think if I become the president, I become the mayor of Baguio. Sorry, dahil presidente ako ng ibang organization. Kaya ito, ang sinasabi ko, if I become the mayor of Baguio, ito ang number one susolusyon na natin. Dahil sistema ang kailangan nito. Kulang ang sistema at disiplina ang kailangan. Bakit yung emphasize ang disiplina? We need discipline. If you cannot discipline your house, wala akong magulo. Kaya dito atin disiplina ang kailangan. Bakit emphasize ko disiplina? Kulang tayo sa disiplina dito sa Baguio. Maraming salamat po.
Sir Willie, may follow-up question now. You mentioned about discipline. How could you influence the residents of Baguio?
Well, I think we have the city ordinance. They should follow the city ordinance. If they will not follow the city ordinance, we will find them. Even we will tell even ang gagawin nila sa sabi nila, find a city. If matigas ang ulo nila, imultan natin sila. It's a political will.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Willie.
Pakinggan naman po natin si Sir Mauricio Dumogan. Sir?
First, we have to continue to improve our discipline. Second, we have to construct parking spaces and buildings in our city. Baguio, example, the Gamsa parking area. We are going to pursue the construction of a parking area there. Third, we have to really support the Metro Baguio development known as BRIS so that we disperse distribution of people, not only the central business district area of the city of Baguio, but even outside. Fourth, we have to continue the construction of the circumferential roads. It's only the city of Baguio that we are about to finish the circumferential roads, but the adjoining areas not yet. So that's a homework that we have to do that surely will help the traffic problems in our city of Baguio. Thank you.
Alright, maraming salamat. Thank you very much kay Sir Mauricio Dumogan.
Sir Del, Claramente.
Well, there must be a short, medium, and long-range solution to this problem. Because as we see, it's really very difficult to change the setup of the city. the small roads that were built before. Now, there are several jeepney stations, several taxi stations, and still they say that kulang pa rin ang taxi, especially during the peak season. The point is, we have to rationalize where they should be parking, like the jeepneys, hindi naman kaya siguro pwedeng nandyan sila parati sa Central Business District. Maybe they should be parked in the different barangays where they are serving, and the taxis also must also be parked in certain loading and unloading areas, and of course, here comes the discipline of the people.
Okay. What is your stand on casino and gambling, and how do we ensure that your stand will never materialize? Let us begin listening to Sir Jose.
Casino and people gambling. That's why I intend to come up with a democratic process where people, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they should go to the office of the mayor, bring in proposals and have it discussed in public so that all concerned, all stakeholders will be allowed to put in their positions. And I also believe that the reason why people gamble is because they don't have any alternative. We don't see any music being promoted in Baguio City. We don't see sports being promoted in the city. We don't see people having activities during weekends for free. And that is what we intend in our party to do. We promote music, we promote sports, we promote dancing and other activities so that people will not make use of gambling as the only available thing to do at night. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Sir Jose Molincas.
Premier Hernandez.
Well, regarding casino, I'm against because we don't want casino in Baguio. We don't want gambling in Baguio, especially the small gambling there. Nakikita ko yan. Maraming under the management of, I don't know, of the politics, the political, narito, under the management. Kaya hindi nila masasabi yan dahil nga natatakot sila. Marami yung kinds of gambling dito, di lang casino. Tingnan mo yan sa mga paralahan ng jeep. Toss the coin, toss mga tongkit-tongkit na yan. You see, how can they see? Hindi nila ginagawa trabaho ng ibang ating mga law enforcer. Mismo sa mga police station.
All right, let us now listen to Sir Mauricio Dumogan. Sir?
Definitely, I'm against the establishment of casino and illegal gambling in our city of Baguio. You have seen it. When we formulated the development of Janssen, we have seen to it that no casino will be placed there. We maintain it up to the present. Second, we have to pursue the character, the programs of the character city, which give on values of individuals. You cannot stop gambling if we have people gambling. So I hope that everybody should cooperate, especially our religious leaders, to change the values of individuals so that no one is gambling. Then gambling will not happen. But if there are people gambling, so difficult to guard 24 hours a day, the person, if they will just play Kongin somewhere else. So we have to pursue the programs of the character city, developing values in character. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Mauricio Dumogan.
Sir Del, Clarabal.
We are definitely against gambling and the putting up of casinos. Even our caveat, there was a divine intervention when the casinos that were placed in Baguio nasira ng sunog and an earthquake. That is a telling experience for all of us. And I think that if ever we should stop any casino or the building up of a casino here, it is for the people to wake up, for the people to go against these proposals. Na if ever there will be anybody who will try to institute the coming up of casinos, we will summon the people to participate in any public demonstration so that these casinos will not be constructed in Baguio.
Maraming salamat, Sir Jeff.
Ating mga kaibigan, ang isang cartoon illustration actually, we would like to acknowledge this masterpiece or illustration done by Sir Joji Tamayo of the Baguio Midland Courier. And for the benefit of our listeners na hindi po nakikita yung nasa screen natin ngayon, makikita po natin ang isang illustration ng bundok kasamang Nathan, ano? Itong bundok na to, merong kalsadang pataas. There are two lanes, so one is going up, and kita natin naglilinya ang mga kotse. And on the side, meron tayong billboard na nakasulat ang welcome Baguio. On the other lane that is going down, okay, paalis ng bundok, makikita natin ang isang kotse na may label na Baguio and it's going down, no? Pababa yun. So let's try to let's have the comment and feedback or reactions from our candidates this afternoon. Let us start off with Sir Edilberto.
It shows the hospitality of the people of Baguio. Na nung pagkampenga, yung mga residente umaalis sa Baguio dahil they're expecting traffic. Kaya nga umaakyat yung mga gustong manood ng panagbenga, yung mga residents bumababa rin to avoid the traffic. Yan ang sitwasyon natin ngayon because of our road system. Kaya nga po, yung mga activities na nangyayari dito, perhaps we should later on rationalize our tourism industry. Para sa ganun po, hindi mo nabubugawan yung mga residente nandito na umaalis sa ating syudad every time there are activities. These activities should be for the people, not just for people who come up to Baguio.
Alright, maraming salamat, Sir Edilberto Laraban.
Sir Mauricio Dumogan.
Comment on this cartoon? Well, yes, some are maybe moving out from the city when we have this height of the Panagtuna. Our constituents stay also in their home because they can watch the Panagtuna in their respective television. And third, this shows the hospitality of the city of Baguio of letting also visitors to be part of the Panagtuna. It's when we founded it 21 years ago, we did not dream or expect that it's going to grow of this magnitude that sustains the tourism industry of our city of Baguio. We have proven that if we work together, we can grow and we can produce a festival of this magnitude that can be enjoyed by our people of Baguio as well as our tourists.
Okay? Maraming salamat, Sir Mauricio.
Sir Guillermo Hernandez, sir.
Well, I think this we don't have city planning special convention. We should have the city planning para makontrol na natin ang mga bisita o market ng Baguio. Kaya kahit tayo sa Baguio, kawawa. Imbis na na-enjoy natin, aas na lang tayo sa Baguio. Bino mo, ang Baguio is for Baguio. Baguio first. Kung tourism, dapat controlling natin. Kung walang control, wala akong mangyayari sa everything should be controlled. Kaya nga nasasabi ko, dito kailangan natin matigas na mamumuno. Political will ang kailangan natin dito. Subukan ninyo. Sabi ni Joseph Stalin, huwag niyo ako subukan. Ang sasabihin ko naman sa inyo, subukan ninyo ako.
Thank you very much, Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Sir Jose Bonitas.
And perhaps this is the time to congratulate our officials. This is where we are. But they say it's because we are hospitable. I doubt that. I think the Baguio We Want is for the benefit of Baguio City. There should be tourism, why not? But what we have seen is only the ones managing the Panagbenga benefiting without accounting using government funds. Whereas we are suffering the difficulty of not traveling because it's traffic all the way. We suspend activities because we will just waste our time being in a traffic jam. We don't know if they're considering that, but they consider us very hospitable, very, very hospitable. I think they need to also look at that. If we were mayor, we believe that we have to ask the people to be able to, again, bring out Panagbenga to the neighboring towns of Baguio City too as part of this program. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Sir Jose Bolitas. We will proceed to our next common question. What is your say on awarding to qualified urban poor actual occupants the land they have been occupying for a long time? How about po yung illegal settlers?
Okay, may we start to listen to the answer of Sir question, no? So yung bubunutin po namin kasama Nathan, ito ay exclusive na sasagutin ng naka-on-deck na candidate, okay? And the others will have to answer the other drawn questions. Alright, so we start with Sir Guillermo Hernandez. This is your question. Question number 39. On land use and zoning, what are your views on the increase of high-rise buildings and condominiums in Baguio?
Ang batas natin up to 6 stories lang. And how come they have 8, 10, etc.? Bakit to? Dahil sa lagayan system, corruption. Ito mga sibaw, hindi nila tinitignan ang trabaho nila. Ibig sabihin, dapat sana i-control natin yan. Let the city ordinance implement strictly. At sa mga building na skyrise, dapat meron din parking na may ilalagay doon. Hindi yung walang parking, kawawa naman ang kalsada, nagiging parking lang ang kalsada. Sana isipin natin, let the CBAW inspect also yung mga structural na ito.
Thank you very much, Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Sir Jose Bolitas, this question is regarding land use and zoning. Question number 36. Roads are redone and yet again redone, even when they are in good working condition. It is perceived as a waste of tax money and it creates months of traffic. If elected po, how do you respond to this?
Well, the only power of the mayor to these kinds of activities where money is lost is to grant the closure of the road. So if they come and apply to keep on changing the pavement, if I were the mayor, I would stop them from closing the road. They can build it the way they like it, but once I refuse to allow them, they will not be able to do that. So we will not waste money. One of the things that we can do also is you demand contractors to put their name and the guarantee that the work they've done is good for 15 years. So that we will question the DPWH why are they allowing a removal and changing of the pigments when there is yet no 15 years, only 6 months that they're changing. Thank you.
Salamat, Sir Jose Bolitas.
We have a question here for Sir Edelberto Carabal. Question number 2. On community participation. It has been a reality observed that urban areas, as they further develop in time, could affect a sense of community, gradually, radically eroding to anonymity and or indifference. What do you have in mind to help increase community participation?
Well, it will go to the barangay. Because it is the barangay that is really on the ground with respect to what are the concerns of the families. When I was a barangay captain, we would always meet with the people to ask them what are the concerns and to propose to them what are the needs that maybe we can together help. We did not have any salary or any emoluments at that time. We did not have money from the city government, but we were able to provide for city lights. We were able, street lights, we were able to clean up the roads, and we were able to clean the environment because of community participation, stating to them, telling them, meeting them every time about the need that they have to join us in this effort to beautify and clean our barangay.
Alright, maraming salamat. Sir Edilberto Caravan.
Ayan, so shuffle naman tayo. Okay, let's start with Sir Jose Molintas. This is regarding well-being and mobility, question number 25. Sir, what is your view on bicycles as a mode of transportation in Baguio City?
Well, I think it's a good alternative to traffic and also on health issues, but unfortunately I think it's also too dangerous to allow mixing bicycles and motor vehicles. I think before we allow bicycles, we should come up with a bicycle lane. We should balance safety and these bicycles. In fact, almost every day we see motorbikes figuring in traffic accidents. So that's what I do if I were elected as mayor, is to determine first a bicycle lane, which will be only for bicycles in order to make it safer for everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Sir Jose.
Next question is for Sir Edilberto Caravan to answer. Question number 17. It's on well-being and mobility. The ever-undying wetting. How do you intend to put a stop to this?
Well, it all boils down again to political will, because kung nakikita po natin yung problema ng wedding, that is a centuries-old problem. And that is because meron pa rin nagtataya at may kumukuha ng taya. But actually, if we could tell these people, yung mga nanghuhuli ng wedding, na ihinto na nila yung pagsisingil, yung mga nagpro-protect sa wedding, siguro may hinto din natin yan. It takes again a lot of political will for the mayor to really go to the police officers, even to the barangays, to tell them that this is a very serious problem because it affects the economy of the family. Thank you.
Maraming salamat sa Edilberto Caravan.
Sir Mauricio Domogan, it's regarding governance and legislation. Number 11. What is your position on local freedom of information ordinance?
Well, we support the Freedom of Information Bill. When I was in Congress, we supported it. Unfortunately, it was not passed. So, if we can come out with the local ordinance, well balanced and provided so that people can easily access with information that they want to know about how government is operating. So, very clear that we support freedom of information. At the same time, it should be balanced also with the responsibility of the one coming out to hear also the other side of who are affected by the news that they brought out. Otherwise, it will not be balanced. Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Sir Mauricio Domogan.
Question number 24 on well-being and mobility. 24. And this is to be answered by Sir Guillermo Hernandez. What can you do to make pedestrians and carless people a priority on our city streets?
Well, I think the pedestrians and careless people to our city streets, subukan natin na dapat dito sumunod sila sa batas, saka mayroon tayong may ordinansa na gaya ng session doon. Ibig sabihin, i-free natin every Saturday, Sunday para maging libre. Tapos, gagamitin nila ang public vehicles. Instead of public vehicles, that we can also try to make some system para tapos yung mga pedestrian dapat sana giveaway muna, giveaway sila sa mga pedestrian, ito ang mga public mga sasakyan.
Thank you very much, Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Sir Jose, Malintas, this is regarding land use and zoning, question number 42. On urban planning, may comment po kasi ang tourists while going down from Santo Tomas Mountain and they saw the view of the whole city. Parang green na carpet na tinapunan ng basura. What is your take on this po?
Tama naman yung tourist. Nakikita niya, yung syudad natin, dapat napakaganda, marami punong kaway. Pero ang nangyari ngayon ay marami ng informal settlers. Informal settlement is simply those who build their houses without following any planning. And the city is equally guilty. They keep on doing things without planning. So our plan is how to do something about it. Again, my proposal is to really push forward the bridge because we cannot blame people who have to go their way to build their houses. But we need to put in planning, but not only on the city of Baguio. It must be together with our neighboring towns. That is the only way, really. How can you plan that when all our lands have been given to informal settlers? That is, for me, a very difficult or quite impossible task to plan at this point when all these lands are already occupied.
Thank you so much, Sir Jose.
Question number 5454 on local business and tourism. And this question is for Sir Edelberto Carvan. Sir, how could you help in the implementation of labor code, for example, the minimum wage law?
Well, as a local executive, we have to determine if the local businesses are really giving the employees the minimum wage law. Although that is, of course, within the province of the Department of Labor and Employment. But there must be a close monitoring, especially so because ang nangyayari ngayon, yung mga businesses ngayon, yung mga these employees now that they are hiring, they hire them for 5 months so that hindi sila magiging regular. These laws must be strictly implemented na kailangan yung mga businesses dyan na ginagawa itong habit na ito, dapat we have to warn them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Edelberto Carvan.
Sir Mauricio Domogan, it's regarding land use and zoning, question number 41. Sir, if you were to be re-elected, how will you deal with the problem with illegal settlers?
As I said a while ago, first, if you are occupying titled properties, help them negotiate with the owner. There's a way that we can include them in the community mortgage program so that government will pay for the land and for them to pay in an installment this land that they occupy. We have done it, like in Fairview. We have done that in certain areas also in San Carlos. We'll continue to do that. Now, if they are occupying public land which are alienable and disposable, help them acquire this land. For the free patent, we have already approved the free patent about 1,000 already, covering areas 200 or less in the city of Baguio. We are implementing it and we are doing it. You have seen how we do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Mauricio Domogan.
Question number 2020 on well-being and mobility to be answered by Sir Guillermo Hernandez. Walk Baguio seems to be not conducive when posts and other obstructions or posts are obstructions to the sidewalks and there are no sidewalks to walk on.
Well, as an engineer, yung mga poste ng mga nandiyan ay dapat tanggalin. We should be, may mga sidewalk, 8 poste nandun, dapat tanggalin mga yan. Safety for the pedestrians, safety for the people, para maluwag ang silang paglalakaran nila. Kaya mas maganda, kung maganda ang hangin, masarap maglakad. It's better to walk with a clean air. Sino ang makakasolve ng air pollution? Maybe it's a professional mechanical engineer because we took up during our college day how to prevent those pollution. Thank you. you very much.
Thank you very much, Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Sir Jose, Malitas, well-being and mobility. Number 33. What is your say on LGBT concerns? Do you have a program in mind to aid the community in having a better understanding about them as part of our society?
Well, part of our advocacy as human rights is to respect all peoples depending on their religious belief and other means of promoting their happiness. So on our part, our concern will be, for example, if they get associated with the issue of AIDS, we need to find a way to have protection on their part as well as the community, because that is normally what happens in this very conservative society. We need to further do forum of understanding them. In fact, we have seen in the past activities where Baguio City is a site for same-sex marriage. This is happening in the United States, and it should be a matter of discussion among people on how we handle this situation.
Thank you so much, Sir Jose Malitas.
Question number 69 on trees and water concerns to be answered by Sir Edelberto Claraval. What can you do to regulate water use and distribution so that it is equitable and accessible to all?
Well, the only way by which we can make it accessible to all is find other alternatives by which we can draw water from the rains, the aquifer, and there are now modern technologies that capture the clouds and fog and turn it into potable water. Because now we surely lack enough water. When there are condominium buildings that are put up there, they dig in the deep wells, and all the neighboring barangays don't have any water. When there are subdivisions that are made there will surely be not enough water in the different neighboring barangays. So in order that we can have an equitable distribution of water, maybe we must have a moratorium in the construction of condominium buildings.
Thank you very much, Sir Edelberto Claraval.
Sir Mauricio, Dumogan, Heritage, question number 53. Sir, what can you do to conserve and enhance Baguio's unique heritage?
Well, first, let us declare the areas which are of heritage values to be covered. I prefer to be covered by an ordinance that will set up the guidelines to be followed, what kind of improvements that are allowed in said area. We should not leave it to the National Historical Commission or the National NCCA, because look at what is happening now. They are even quarreling with each other, and we on the ground are being confused of what laws or policies are to be implemented, despite the fact that klaro naman yung batas, ngunit hindi sila makaintindihan. I propose that we should come up with an ordinance that will cover our historical heritage in our city of Baguio, that will outline what are to be followed, preserving them.
Thank you so much, Sir Mauricio.
Question number 61 to be answered by Sir Guillermo Hernandez. This is on waste management. Another big problem of the city is waste management and disposal. There have been various measures undertaken, but most of these have not succeeded and have cost us a lot. How do you propose to resolve this problem?
Regarding the waste management, marami tayong paraan dyan na resolve natin yan Especially, we have already the city ordinance. We only implement the city ordinance, and again, discipline again. Ang hindi iralya, kailangan natin disiplina sa waste management. Ang kwan dito is political will lang. Kung hindi natin susundin yan, lalo-lalo na yung mga bahay dyan na nakadirect doon sa Halalan River, dapat takpan yan para wag nang matumihan ang Halalan River. I don't know kung nagbabayad tayo ng dumi. Yung fee pag dumi ng Baliri River going to La Trinidad. Meron tayong sistema naman dyan. Ayusin natin yan. Malilinisan yan. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Okay, Sir Joe. Land use and zoning, question number 44. Sir, how do you intend to review the city's comprehensive land use plan? What would be the priority in the process of undertaking such review, or probably, crafting a new one?
If we associate that with the city charter, police, even autonomy, let's not focus a lot on Baguio City, which has already been full of informal settlers. What will you plan if there are no lands? That's the thing that I've been thinking about. That's why I was thinking we need to spread out development towards the bleached area so that they will also enjoy the benefit of having more standardized and low-cost housing. And after we have done that, we offer it to the informal centers in the center for them to be relocated so that we can widen our streets. We can widen our streets, we can have what you want as a pedestrian lane. Whereas now we cannot do that unless we plan out in how to relocate informal centers outside the city of Baguio. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Jose Boniface.
Question number 1 on community participation. And this will be answered by Sir Edilberto Claraban. There are some concerns in the boundary of barangays. How do you deal with this?
Well, of course, we have to go back to the initial plan of the city on how it was subdivided. Because if ever there is any overlapping of boundaries, then necessarily we have to call these people, these barangay officials, who have this problem in order that it can be resolved. But of course, there is already that starting point of how these barangays were subdivided before. So this is the starting point in solving these barangay boundary problems. But it has to be in consultation with the 2 or 3 barangays concerned in this boundary problem. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Sir Edilberto Claraban.
Sir Mauricio, regarding this is community participation, question number 3. Sir, what livelihood programs would you suggest to the barangays in the city? Medyo common na po yung iba. Ano po yung bago natin strategy sa case? What livelihood programs would you suggest to the barangays in the city?
Well, first, we will continue to the Pasanang Pambarangay in order that we encourage the participation of barangay constituents. And we are doing this in every district of the city of Baguio. When it comes to prioritization of project, the list of priorities will come from them. It will go to the City Development Council that will be merged with the priorities of the other departments of the city of Baguio. So, when it will be submitted to the City Council for approval, we have included already the concerns of the different barangays in the city, which will continue to sustain participatory governance. We are going to continue to sustain that and even improve it so that the participation of our barangay constituents will be enhanced and will be improved.
Okay. Maraming salamat po, Sir Mauricio.
Question number 63, and this will be answered by Sir Guillermo Hernandez, is on air and noise pollution. Establishments that have loud speakers and inconsiderate of the time element, especially in the late evening, even past midnight of weekends. Sir, comment, sir.
I think the proper question should be sent to the councillors because of they should do a city ordinance that at this time na pwede baba nila yung mga speakers nila para hindi may storm yung pagtutulog. Especially na ang kinaban natin wala tayong zoning na kasi kahit na mga barangay na area for residential, mayroong mga may establishment yan na mga drinking, mga pag-iinuman. Dapat sana mayroong zoning yan sa city. Dapat i-review nila ang zoning ng Baguio. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Sir Jose Molindas, regarding local business and tourism, question number 56. With the unified development of the public market, how will you ensure that the local store owners or market vendors will not be displaced?
The people, the vendors do not like unified. The first thing we do when we sit in office is to notify the city council to cancel the contract. We need to cancel the contract because it is a very ambitious development that if something like Central Mall will be built, you cannot imagine how the vendors will be able to afford the rentals. What we will do is to come up with our own source of funding and then build our market, preserve the limestones there, and enhance it, rather than give it to a private corporation. We are against privatization of public properties because, as we have seen in the past, January, the burn area, the CRs, the solid waste management being privatized, it has not done any good. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Jose Molindas.
Question number 23. Question number 23 on well-being and mobility to be answered by Sir Edelberto Carabal. Sir, your comment on illegal drugs.
Illegal na eh. So we have to find a way by which we can help those who are taking illegal drugs into a more homely and a more leisurely activities that will draw them away from these illegal drugs. So engage them in sports activities, engage them in probably studying the historical value of Baguio, engage them in different things, especially pati sa internet. Marami silang magagawa dyan. Perhaps they can also be given some livelihood projects in order that they will be drawn away from these illegal drugs. Illegal eh. No, in other words, we should stop it.
Thank you very much, Sir Edelberto Carabal.
Sir Mauricio Dumagan, on well-being and mobility, question number 28. What is your view on the creation of a local road tax for private transport?
Well, let us study it and again come out with the participation of the public. If it will come out to be beneficial, then why not? But it should be done in a way that everybody participates so that when we pass the ordinance, no one can again question the same that they were not included when the ordinance had been drafted. It can be a good proposal, but we have to study it carefully by involving the participation of the community, the barangays, not only the city government. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Mauricio Dumagan.
Question number 45 to be answered by Sir Guillermo Hernandez on police and autonomy in car. What is your view about car autonomy?
Well, I think about car, medyo mahirap pa rin yan. Para sa akin, let the people decide. For me, I'm against car autonomous because of kulang tayo sa resources eh. It's not happening in Mindanao. Magagawa kaya natin dito sa Cordillera. Wala tayong international airport, wala tayong one. How can we become autonomous? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Sir Joe Molindas, this is actually a special question from the youth sector, question number 17. Sir, in the age of social networking, is there a plan for some areas of Baguio to be Wi-Fi ready, just in case you'd be elected?
When I campaigned in 2010, when we had a debate at St. Louis University, I said that we can have a Wi-Fi free city. Not only in Vernon Park, but should be in the entire city. And with the advancement of technology and the price getting cheaper, that's not very impossible to do now. So we would like to have a Wi-Fi free city, not only in the central business district. In fact, we should encourage more outside the barangay so that they do not have to flock in the center. So this, what we are doing is supposed to be geared towards that, spreading out activities outside from the center. Even development of infrastructure should be concentrated outside rather than in the center, so that we can have what we want in the center, like a pedestrian organization of Oxygen Road. So these have to be incorporated in one plan.
Thank you, Sir Joe.
Question number 43. This will be answered by Sir Edilberto.
Vehicles are parked on the sidewalks. Definitely, we must tow them away. In towing them, we have to have the necessary equipments. Tingnan ho natin yung City Engineer's Office. If we have all these necessary equipments in order to strictly enforce the law. Because sidewalk is not for cars. Sidewalk is for people to walk on. So we have to stop these practices of these vehicles being parked in these sidewalks.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Edilberto.
Sir Mauricio Dumogan, Governance and Legislation, Implementation number 6. Sir, how will you help implement or rather strengthen our ordinances?
Well, as we have been doing, we have been implementing ordinances. Look at what we are doing with the smoke belching that will clean the air. Look at what we are doing the salaknik ng wine. Look at what we are doing also with the illegal parking on some of the streets in the city. And look at what we have done, even motorcycles that had been the subject of a lot of complaints, but that is the ordinance itself. So we have to implement them, and we need the teamwork in the city government, especially the implementing arm, the Baguio Police, and of course the consent departments tasked to implement the same, katulong ng mayor yan to implement the same ordinances. Thank you.
Salamat po, Mayor Mauricio Dumogan.
Question number 12. Okay, so in the form of a picture, to be answered by Sir Guillermo Hernandez, and for the benefit of our listeners, we have here on the screen, it's a picture, isang larawan po ito, nakikitang dalawang tao nagkakamayan, shaking hands, and then yung isang kamay naglalagay ng pera sa bulsa ng kanyang kasama. And according to my write-up, it says a picture of corruption. Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Yeah. Uso na at hindi na titigil. Ito nga corruption dito dito mismo sa Baguio. Maraming corruption dito. Lalo sa mga different department. Siguro hindi ko na i-mention. Dahil umiikot-ikot ako sino mahilig dyan sa lagay na yan. Kaya kailangan natin na isang tao maglilid na matapang. Iba ng batas. Kung hindi natin ilagay na yan, kitang-kita mo, magkano kaya bulsa. Kaya dapat sana mga department heads walang bulsa sa mga kanilang damit para iwasan yung mga lagay na yun.
Alright, thank you very much, Sir Guillermo Hernandez.
Sir Joe Molitas, this is question number 64, on air and noise pollution. Ngayon po kasi yung motorcycles and cars, they have modified their bumpers. So sa residential areas, medyo maingay po. What's your stand on this, and what are your remedies just to lessen such a problem?
Well, my thoughts on this, like noise pollution a while ago, was that whatever is vexatious to your ears is a crime. That is what they call unjust vexation. So people should start filing cases against these motorists whose exhaust very loud and unnecessarily being in the center of the road. This is one existing law that we can use. But as an executive, a mayor, we could inform police officers to be also be very strict on allowing noisy vehicles along the road, including sound system. And in the barangays, barangay captain should monitor that no person should be insensitive to be making noise in this community, or else will be charged. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Jose Molitas.
All right, and that's the end of our question series. And may we give a big round of applause to our candidates. Okay. And at this point, may we request them to please stand up, and they're going to do their integrity pledge. Alright, so they're being provided a copy, and we request our candidates to please move a little forward for your integrity pledge. Okay, sarap lang po ng mic, a little forward, sirs. We request you to raise your hand, your right hand, and sabay-sabay po pasahin yung content ng integrity pledge.
I sincerely pledge to fulfill orderly, honest, integrity, and diploma to abide by the guidelines of our Constitution, elections, rules and regulations, second sentence of our electoral exercise. I will not tolerate violence, force, or threat that may reveal or unduly influence the exercise of the people's rights of some. I will ensure that I will not offer or take advice the executive or democratic process. As a candidate seeking the people's mandate in order to serve as I shall share the norms and conduct expected of public servants and will certainly fairness, moral decency, honesty, and good faith. All this I believe and subscribe to, freely and voluntarily, fully accountable to Almighty God and to the people as I
Alright, another round of applause. We request the candidates to please sign over your name, the name that is written on your integrity pledge. And again, this will continue to show to us, mga kaibigan, na ang ating mga candidates for the mayoral position are willing, of course, to join us in the upkeep of our ever clean, honest, and critical elections, especially in the city of Baguio.